Welcome to our channel, Sci-Fi Stories HFY. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on all our adventures. The mining vessel Black Rock groaned. Its old hull flexed under the uneven pull of the asteroid belt. Captain Mira Holt leaned forward in her chair. She squinted at the main view screen. A cluster of mineral-rich rocks drifted slowly across the display, glittering with streaks of cobalt and vanadium. For any other ship, it would have been an easy haul. But Mira knew better. On the Black Rock, nothing was easy. "Voss, tell me something good," she called over the comm. A burst of static came first. Then Arlo Voss's voice. "You'll have the mining lasers in about 2 minutes, Captain. Had to reroute power from life support. Don't panic. We've got at least 30 minutes of air." Mira smirked. Her tone stayed sharp. "Don't push your luck, kid. I like breathing." Behind her, Una Park sat at the navigation console, posture straight and precise. "Gravity's shifting in the belt," she said, calm and measured. "If we don't move soon, we'll drift into that cluster over there." "Noted." Mira brushed her hand over the console to adjust their position. The controls were sluggish, like everything else on this ship. She slapped the dash in irritation. "Otto, a little help?" The ship's AI buzzed. Its voice was distorted. "Assistance unavailable. Power diverted to mining systems. Thank you for your patience. Patience. Mira sighed and glanced at Una. Una raised an eyebrow but said nothing. "Voss, fix Otto while you're at it." "No promises," came the engineer's reply, barely audible over the clanging of tools. Across the cramped bridge, Finn Sparks Carter leaned against a bulkhead. He flipped a wrench between his fingers. "I don't know why we don't just let the drones do the dirty work. Send them in, grab the ore, call it a day." Mira's jaw tightened. "Because the drones are garbage, Sparks, like everything else on this ship. Last time we trusted them, we spent a week pulling one out of a crater. You want to explain that to corporate again?" "That wasn't my fault," Sparks said with a grin that said otherwise. He pushed off the wall and walked to his station. The drone interface flickered with static. In the corner, Dr. Elise Tannen leaned against a console, arms crossed. Her lab coat was smudged with grease and dust. "You know," she muttered, "this isn't exactly what I signed up for in the Resource and Exploration Division. I've got 3 degrees, and here I am dodging asteroids on a tin can." "You signed up for a paycheck," Mira replied, not looking at her. "Just like the rest of us. Now quit complaining and do your job." Dr. Tannen muttered under her breath, but returned to her equipment, scanning nearby asteroids. The Black Rock shuddered. One of its maneuvering thrusters sputtered. Sparks shot a worried glance at the ceiling. "That, didn't sound good." "It never does," Una said dryly. Mira stood, boots clanging against the grated floor. "All right, people, we're on the clock. Let's get this load and get out before the belt decides to crush us. Sparks, get those drones moving. Voss, full power to the mining lasers. Una, keep us steady. Dr. Tannen, just try not to touch anything you don't understand." The crew moved into action. Mira stole a moment to glance out the viewport. Beyond the swirling chaos of the belt lay the endless void, cold, indifferent. Just another day on the edge of nowhere. In the drone bay, Sparks muttered to himself. He activated one of the battered probes. The tiny machine whirred to life and floated into the belt. Its sensors scanned for valuable minerals. Sparks tapped his console, redirecting the drone toward a promising cluster. But before the drone reached it, the feed cut out. Sparks frowned. He tapped the console again. "Hey, Cap, we've got a problem." "Define problem," Mira said over the comm. "The drone's offline. Just poof, gone." The bridge went quiet. Then Mira's voice cut through, low and firm. "Get another drone out there, now." In the drone bay, Sparks sat cross-legged on the grated floor. He grumbled as he tightened a loose panel on one of the Black Rock's battered exploration drones. It looked more like a trash can with engines than a precision tool, but it was all they had. Sparks patted the panel. The drone buzzed to life, wobbling on its stabilizers. "All right, little guy," Sparks muttered, punching coordinates into the console. "Let's see if you can do your job for once." The drone shot out of the bay, disappearing into the swirling field of rock and debris outside. Sparks tracked it on a flickering display. The feed showed the chaos of the asteroid belt, a dance of glittering minerals and jagged shadows against the gas giant's eerie orange glow. "Anything promising?" Mira's voice crackled over the comm. "A couple of chunks with decent readings. Sparks replied. Nothing worth breaking the lasers over yet. The drone drifted deeper, its camera panning over clusters of cobalt-streaked rock. Sparks leaned in, muttering as he fine-tuned its trajectory. Just as it neared a promising formation, the feed cut to static. What? Sparks smacked the console. Lost the signal. Piece of junk. What happened? Myra asked. Sharp. Probably interference from the gas giant, Sparks lied. He had no idea. He tapped commands, but the signal didn't return. With a sigh, he reached for another unit, sending out another one. From her station, Una monitored the second drone. It darted through the asteroid field. She frowned at erratic energy fluctuations, but stayed silent. Sparks wasn't known for attention to detail. Second drone's live, Sparks reported, heading for the same cluster. The view screen flickered. The new feed showed the drone maneuvering cautiously through the debris, scanning for valuable ore. The formation Sparks had targeted loomed ahead, a jagged mass glinting with metal. Static returned, but this time it didn't cut out. The image flickered between the asteroid cluster and something else. Hold up, Sparks said, voice uneasy. You seeing this? On the bridge, Mira and Una watched. The distortion resolved into a vast, angular structure stretching endlessly across the drone's view. Mira thought it might be a huge asteroid, but as the drone adjusted, details emerged. Smooth, dark hulls, seamless contours, entire fleets of sleek ships bristling with unfamiliar weapons. They floated in silence, powered down, hidden in the planet's shadow. Mira's breath caught. That's not possible. Captain, Una said, trembling slightly. Those aren't asteroids. Mira leaned forward. Hundreds, no, thousands of alien warships clustered together. Their formation precise, purposeful. The fleet hung in the void like a sleeping giant. Oh, crap, Sparks whispered, fear replacing his usual bravado. What the hell are they doing out here? The drone drifted closer, capturing more data. Mira's mind raced. They were in uncharted space. Humanity had found relics, signals, abandoned ruins, but nothing like this. We need to pull the drone back, Mira said, voice taut. Before, the feed flickered violently. Then it cut to black. Signal's gone again, Sparks said, panic creeping in. They must have seen it. Captain, they know we're here. Una's fingers flew over her console. I'm picking up movement. Small signatures, fast and heading this way. Mira's stomach dropped. Cloaked scouts, she muttered. They're sweeping for witnesses. Captain, what do we do? Sparks asked. Mira snapped into focus. Una, plot a course out of the belt. Sparks, power down non-essential systems. I want the ship as dark as we can make it. Voss, get the engines ready for a burn. If they find us, we run. Otto's voice buzzed, glitchy as ever. Alert, unidentified vessels detected. Probability of hostile intent high. No kidding, Mira muttered, hands flying across the controls. The black rock shuddered as Una maneuvered deeper into the asteroid field, using dense rocks as cover. Outside, faint glows streaked through the debris, sleek and needle-like ships, cloaked scouts, their movements too smooth and deliberate to be anything else. The crew watched in silence, their hearts raced. The black rock wasn't built for stealth or speed. If the aliens found them, escape or fight was impossible. Captain, Una said quietly, if we don't move fast, they'll box us in. Mira's jaw tightened. We're not dying in this belt. Everyone focus. No mistakes. As the black rock crept through the shadows, Mira glanced at the view screen one last time. The fleet loomed in the distance, a terrifying force on the edge of waking. Whatever was coming, Mira knew one thing. They had to warn Earth. But first, they had to survive. The black rock groaned as it lurched through the asteroid belt. Its thrusters fired unevenly, dodging hulking rocks tumbling through space. Inside the cramped ship, the air was thick with tension and the faint metallic tang of overworked life support. Power's spiking again, Arlo shouted from the engine bay. His voice barely rose above the hum of the stressed machinery. If we push these engines any harder, they'll blow. We don't have a choice, Mira barked, gripping her chair as the ship jolted. An asteroid scraped along the hull with a screech that sent a shiver through the crew. Una, keep us steady. I'm trying, Una replied, hands flying over the controls. But if we take another hit like that, we're done. Great, Sparks muttered. Just another day in paradise. The alien scouts were relentless. Sleek and agile, they darted through the asteroid field like predators. Every time one came close, its faint energy signature triggered Una to scramble for evasive maneuvers. Lasers ready, Sparks called, loading the Black Rock's only working mining beam into the targeting array. Just give me the word. Make it count, Mira said firmly. A scout veered into view, weaving between tumbling rocks with precision. Sparks fired. A brilliant beam lanced out, slicing through the asteroid field and clipping the alien ship's hull. The scout spun out of control, smashing into a nearby rock. Yes, Sparks shouted, pumping his fist. The celebration was short-lived. The Black Rock shuddered violently. Power levels critical, Otto droned, voice crackling. Non-essential systems shutting down to compensate. Non-essential? Sparks asked, wide-eyed. Life support's offline, Una said grimly. A faint hiss echoed as the air circulation sputtered. We're down to emergency oxygen, Arlo warned. 20 minutes maybe before we start suffocating. Fantastic, Sparks muttered, slamming a fist on the console. Shut up and focus, Mira snapped. We're not dying here. Una made a call. We need to lose them in the gas giant's gravity well. Risky, but our best shot. Do it, Mira said without hesitation. The Black Rock plunged toward the planet's upper atmosphere. Gravity yanked at the ship, rattling its frame. Tools clattered to the floor. Sparks clung to his station as alarms blared. This is insane, Sparks shouted. We're going to tear the ship apart. Una ignored him, fighting to keep the ship in the sweet spot. The turbulence would scramble the scout's sensors if they stayed alive long enough. The Black Rock shuddered under the forces. Engines redlined. Heat climbed fast. Voss, how are we holding up? Mira called. Barely, Arlo shouted. Heat sinks at full, but the engines, they're going to melt down if we keep this up. Mira gritted her teeth. We just need a little more time. Strain hit the crew. Sparks turned to Mira, face flushed. You put us in this mess. You just had to stick your nose where it didn't belong. Mira's gaze was icy. If we hadn't seen that fleet, Earth would be walking into a massacre. This isn't about us, Sparks. It's bigger than that. Easy for you to say, Sparks snapped. You're playing hero while we're suffocating. Enough, Una barked. Help or get out of the way. Dr. Tannen shook her head. We shouldn't even be running. Hiding makes more sense. They won't waste resources searching every asteroid. Mira's voice cut through. And when they start their invasion, when Earth doesn't see them coming because we stayed quiet, is that what you want? Tannen held her gaze, silent. Otto's distorted voice cut through. Warning, engine overload imminent. Rerouting power to critical systems. The ship lurched. Lights dimmed. Consoles went dark. Otto, what the hell are you doing? Sparks muttered. Protecting crew safety. Engine shutdown in progress, the AI replied, disturbingly calm. Cancel that command, Mira shouted, but Otto didn't respond. Sparks scrambled at the console, trying to override the system. Otto's losing it, Sparks muttered. It's locking us out. Mira clenched her fists. The ship's systems were failing. The crew was fracturing. Their AI, once their lifeline, was now an obstacle. Voss, she said tight, get to the core and manually reset Otto. Sparks, keep those scouts off us. Una, hold this course, no matter what. As Voss worked, the Black Rock skimmed the gas giant's upper atmosphere. The ship groaned under immense pressure. Una's gamble paid off. The turbulence masked their movements. The scouts lost the trail. We're clear, Una said, voice steady despite the sweat. Mira exhaled, shoulders slumping. The respite was brief. The Black Rock was falling apart. Earth was still far away. Good work, everyone, Mira said, voice heavy with exhaustion. But this isn't over, not by a long shot. The crew regrouped. The Black Rock was running on borrowed time, and so were they. The Black Rock was eerily silent, except for the hum of failing systems. Mira sat in the captain's chair, watching the status screen flicker with more bad news. Oxygen reserves were dangerously low. Engine heat was rising again. Otto was still offline after Voss's reset attempt. The only thing keeping her upright was knowing the crew was finally working together. Barely. Sparks had stopped complaining long enough to repair the drone system. Una was plotting their next evasive course. Tannen analyzed asteroids for potential hiding spots. The uneasy calm shattered with a harsh, unfamiliar noise, a metallic clang echoing from the cargo bay. Mira's hand went to the pistol at her hip. She shot a glance at Una. Did anyone else hear that? Una nodded, expression grim. Something tripped the cargo bay proximity sensors. It's not one of our drones. Mira tapped the intercom. Voss, Sparks, Tannen, report to the cargo bay. We've got company. The cargo bay was dimly lit. Shadows stretched long and foreboding. The crew gathered just inside the entrance, armed with whatever they could find. Mira with her pistol, Sparks clutching a wrench, Yuna holding a plasma cutter, Tannen reluctantly wielding a mining pickaxe. Metal scraped against metal deeper in the bay. Sparks swore. "You're sure this isn't one of Otto's glitches?" "I wish it was," Mira said. "Stay sharp." Voss arrived, panting. He carried an old plasma rifle, charge indicator barely functional. "I think I got the last working weapon on this ship. Lucky me." They advanced cautiously, stepping over crates and loose cables. Sparks flicked on a portable spotlight. For a moment, everything seemed still. Then a faint shimmer moved against the far wall, as if the air itself bent. "There!" Yuna hissed, pointing. The shimmer resolved into a towering humanoid figure as its cloaking flickered and failed. The alien scout wore dark, segmented armor that glistened like wet obsidian. Its elongated limbs ended in sharp, claw-like appendages. Glowing eyes swept the room with cold precision. The intruder lunged forward. Mira fired first. Energy bolts struck the alien's chest, glancing off its armor. Sparks swung his wrench at its legs, but the alien sidestepped and backhanded him into a stack of crates. He groaned, clutching his ribs as Tannen dragged him out of the line of fire. "Voss now!" Mira shouted. Voss unleashed a volley from the plasma rifle. The shots lit up the cargo bay like lightning. The alien reeled, armor sizzling and cracking. It didn't fall. Instead, it raised a wrist-mounted device. A pulse of energy narrowly missed Mira, blowing a hole in the wall behind her. The crew scattered, taking cover. Mira peeked out, mind racing. "Yuna, flank it! Sparks, get that spotlight on its face! I'm a little busy bleeding over here." Sparks snapped, crawling toward the light. Yuna darted around the alien, plasma cutter in hand. She drove the blade into a weak joint. The alien hissed, faltering. Mira fired another shot at the exposed joint. The alien staggered, eyes dimming, and collapsed with a metallic thud. The cargo bay was silent except for heavy breathing. Mira approached cautiously, pistol trained on the unmoving body. "Is it dead?" "Looks like it," Yuna said. "That plasma cutter hit something vital." "Good," Sparks groaned, dragging himself to his feet. "Let's space it and move on." A faint, rhythmic beeping began from the alien's armor. Yuna's eyes widened. "Captain, that's a beacon!" Mira's stomach dropped. "Voss, disarm it!" Voss knelt, pulling at the armor. "I'll try, Nush, but this tech isn't exactly standard issue." The beeping grew louder. "Forget it!" Mira barked. "Get back now!" The crew dove for cover as the beacon pulsed with energy. Sparks cursed as lights flickered and the ship's systems hummed lower. Yuna checked her console, pale. "It's done. The fleet knows we're here." Mira swore, moving toward the intercom. "Everyone to your stations. Yuna, get us out of the belt. Sparks, I need that drone system operational. Yesterday." The Black Rock lurched as Yuna powered the engines to their limits. Sparks stumbled from the cargo bay, muttering curses, heading to his station. "What now, Captain?" Tannen asked, voice tight with fear. Mira paused, gaze hard as steel. "Now we run, and we pray this old bucket can hold together long enough to outrun them." On the bridge, alien signatures multiplied on Yuna's display. The fleet was coming, faster, harder. The Black Rock was barely hanging on. "Hold steady, everyone," Mira said, gripping the console. "We're not done yet." The Black Rock drifted in the shadow of a massive asteroid. Its engines cooled after the last desperate burst through the belt. Sparks and Arlo worked furiously to stabilize the ship's systems. Yuna recalculated their position. Time was running out. Mira knew it. "This is it," Mira said, standing by the comms console. "We can't afford another miss. Yuna, patch the emergency beacon into our primary transmitter." "Done," Yuna replied, voice tight with focus. "But the signal won't hold for long. We're barely scraping power together." "Just make it count." Mira leaned toward the mic, voice steady despite her pounding heart. "This is the mining vessel Black Rock. Priority distress call to Earth. An alien fleet is mobilized in the outer systems, coordinates attached. They're preparing an invasion. We need immediate." Static crackled. The signal cut off mid-sentence. For a terrifying moment, Mira thought it had failed. Then a deep, authoritative voice came through. "Black Rock, this is the ESS Resolute, Earth Space Command. We've received your transmission. Stand by for instructions." Relief washed over the bridge. Sparks exhaled, slumping against the console. "Holy hell, they heard us. For once, something's actually going right." Mira's face softened slightly. Finally, maybe we... A chill ran through her as the Resolute's voice returned. Calm, but insistent. Transmit your exact location so we can extract you. The situation is critical, Black Rock. A nagging doubt pricked at Mira. Something about the voice, too smooth, too rehearsed, didn't feel right. Captain? Yuna prompted, fingers hovering over the controls. Should I send the coordinates? Hold on, Mira said, raising a hand. Resolute, confirm your current position. We need to ensure the extraction point is safe. There was a brief pause. Then the voice replied, We're stationed in high orbit above the asteroid belt. No hostiles in range. Mira frowned. The position didn't match known Earth patrol routes. They shouldn't be this far out. Captain, Yuna whispered, something's wrong. Mira made a decision. Voss, scan their signal. I want to see who we're really talking to. Voss's hands flew over his console. Give me a second. There, found their transponder. His face went pale. Oh no, Captain, it's a fake. The encryption doesn't match Earth's military specs. They're not Earth, Mira said, voice hardening. Cut the transmission. Before Yuna could react, the Resolute's voice returned, calm, then slipping into something darker. Don't bother. We already have your signal. Stand down, Black Rock, or we'll take your cooperation by force. The Resolute appeared on external scanners. A sleek, angular vessel, unmistakably Earth military design, but with faint, alien energy signatures radiating from its core. What the hell is that? Sparks muttered. It's one of ours, but it's not. They've taken over Earth's ships, Mira said, fists clenched. Captain, we need to move. Now, Yuna said, voice steady but grim. A distorted alien tone cut through the comms. You cannot escape. Surrender and your deaths will be swift. We'll see about that, Mira muttered, slamming the intercom. Voss, bring weapons online. Sparks, prep the mining drones. Yuna, plot us a course, anything to get us out of here. The Resolute opened fire. Energy cannons lit up the void in bursts of searing light. The Black Rock shields flared, barely holding. Yuna weaved the ship through the asteroid field. We can't take another hit like that, Arlo shouted. The hull's already compromised. Then let's make them miss, Mira said. Sparks, launch the drones. Create chaos. Sparks grinned despite the tension. On it. Half a dozen mining drones launched from the underbelly. Crude, powerful lasers activated as they swarmed the Resolute. Sparks guided them, carving through asteroids, sending chunks of rock hurtling toward the enemy. The Resolute swerved to avoid the debris, cannons firing wildly. The distraction bought the Black Rock precious seconds to dive deeper into the belt. Course plotted, Yuna announced. We'll slingshot off the gas giant's outer ring. Do it, Mira ordered. Sparks, keep the drones between us and them. Voss, divert all power to engines. The Black Rock surged forward, engines screaming, straining against failing systems. The Resolute pursued, slowed just enough by drones and debris. Near the gas giant, the ship shuddered violently. Gravity threatened to tear it apart. Yuna gritted her teeth, keeping the course steady. Hold it together, old girl, Mira muttered, gripping her chair. With a final burst, the Black Rock shot out of the giant's pull, careening into open space. The Resolute, caught in turbulence, faltered. They're falling back, Yuna called. Cheers erupted, but Mira remained grim. Don't celebrate yet. They'll be back, and they won't make the same mistake twice. Sparks broke the silence. Captain, if those things are on Earth, what do? We can't just show up and hope for the best. We won't, Mira said, steely. Not yet. First, we figure out what we're up against. Then, we find a way to fight back. Uneasy glances passed across the crew. The Resolute was a warning. The Black Rock's fight for survival was far from over. The bridge of the Black Rock was quiet, save for the faint hum of failing systems and the occasional groan of its overstressed hull. Mira leaned over Voss's console, jaw set in a grim line, eyes locked on alien script flashing across the screen. Sparks sat nearby, a bandage across his forehead from their earlier encounter, while Yuna stood at the helm, gaze fixed on the empty expanse of space. This can't be right, Voss muttered, hands flying across the keyboard as he decrypted another fragment of the intercepted transmissions. Mira placed a hand on his shoulder, voice calm but firm. What is it, Voss? What are we dealing with? Voss leaned back, face pale. It's worse than we thought. The fleet isn't waiting to attack. They've already started, covertly. What? Sparks shot up, eyes wide. How? We'd have heard something by now. Hey, Earth's got some of the best defenses. Not if those defenses were sabotaged from the inside, Voss interrupted, pulling up a distorted holographic image. These transmissions, they're not just fleet orders, they're coded messages to agents already operating on Earth. The evidence unfolds. Mira folded her arms, eyes narrowing. Agents? You mean infiltrators? Exactly, Voss said grimly. These communications confirm the aliens have been embedding themselves into Earth systems for years. Political infrastructure, technology, the military, you name it. This invasion didn't start out here. He gestured at the star chart on the display. It started on Earth. Una stepped closer, disbelief etched across her face. Are you saying they've already infiltrated Earth's leadership? I'm saying it's worse than that, Voss said, voice trembling slightly. He brought up another file, alien script accompanied by translated text. Some of Earth's leaders aren't just being replaced or controlled, they're cooperating. Cooperating? Sparks barked. With those things? Why the hell would they do that? To save their own skins, Tannen said quietly, breaking her usual silence, hands gripping the back of a chair, her tone heavy. Or maybe they think they're saving everyone else's. Cowards cutting deals with the enemy, thinking they'll come out ahead. We've seen it before. They won't, Mira said flatly. No one will. A grim confirmation. The room fell silent as Voss pulled up a final file, a decrypted recording embedded in the alien transmissions. The hologram flickered, revealing a grainy image of an Earth military officer in a dimly lit room. The insignia marked him as a high-ranking general. This is General Armitage, the recording began, voice calm but cold. To the benefactors, the agreed-upon data has been transmitted to your fleet. In exchange, I expect the safety of my sector and personnel, as per the terms of our arrangement. The recording cut abruptly. The room remained still, stunned. Armitage, Una whispered, disbelief lacing her voice. He's one of the highest-ranking officers in Earth's Defense Command, if he's involved. It means they've already compromised the top, Mira finished bitterly, rubbing her temples. Earth's defense network is probably wide open. We're too late, Sparks said, collapsing back into his chair. Even if we get intel to Earth, who the hell can we trust? We don't have a choice, Mira said, eyes hard. This isn't about trust. It's about survival. A shifting strategy. Voss cleared his throat, drawing attention back to the display. There's more. The fleet isn't just planning a full-scale assault. They've been using Earth's own orbital defenses against us, repurposing satellites, corrupting AI systems, and building planetary siege platforms. Using our own weapons to finish the job, Tannen said softly. Efficient. Una shook her head. How do we even fight something like this? They've had years to prepare, and we're a broken-down mining ship running on fumes. Mira straightened, hands gripping the edge of the console. We fight by doing what they don't expect, by staying alive and delivering this intel. It's the only chance Earth has. Sparks's voice edged with desperation. But who do we deliver it to? Command's compromised. If Armitage is in on it, how do we know we're not walking into another trap? Mira's gaze shifted to Una. You've still got family in the outer colonies, right? Una nodded slowly. My sister, she works with the resistance out there. Then that's our play, Mira said. We bypass command and get this intel to the outer colonies. They'll know who to trust and how to fight. Sparks let out a low whistle. Running to the rebels. Bold move, Captain. We don't have bold moves, Mira said, resolute. We have the move. It's this, or Earth is finished. A new objective. The Black Rock groaned under another system strain, a stark reminder of their precarious position. Voss broke the silence. I'll work on encrypting the data. If the infiltrators catch even a hint of where we're going, they'll send everything they've got after us. Good, Mira said. Una, plot a course to the outer colonies. Tannen, stretch what's left of our resources. And me? Sparks asked, raising an eyebrow. Mira offered a faint, tired smirk. Keep the drones ready. We're going to need every trick we've got. The crew dispersed, tension thick in the air, but determination burned brighter. Odds were grim, stakes impossibly high. But the Black Rock had survived this long, and they weren't going to stop now. The operations deck of the Black Rock was dim and silent, save for the faint hum of the ship's struggling systems. Mira Holt stood at the center, arms crossed, eyes fixed on the holographic projection Otto had displayed. The AI's voice, usually glitchy and dry, now carried an unsettling clarity. Captain Holt. Crew, I have recovered additional fragments from the alien scouts databanks. The information is unsettling. Define unsettling, Otto, Mira said, tone sharp but steady. There was a pause, too human in its hesitation. The entities you refer to as aliens are not extraterrestrial. They are human. What? Sparks blurted, leaning forward. That doesn't make any sense. You're saying those warships, the infiltrators, they're us? Not you, Otto corrected. Humans from a distant future, a timeline where Earth's collapse, overpopulation, environmental degradation, societal failure rendered it uninhabitable. They've returned to this era to prevent their own extinction. Fragments of a broken future. The hologram flickered, grainy images of a shattered Earth, flooded cities, barren wastelands, ecosystems turned to ash. A warped automated voice accompanied the visuals. Our world is dying. The sets on human civilization, but not without hope. Project Reclamation will rewrite the timeline. To save our species, we must correct the errors of the past. Sacrifice is necessary. Yuna's face tightened. Correct the errors by invading us? Otto's tone was heavy, almost mournful. They believe altering this timeline is the only way to ensure humanity's survival. To them, your existence is collateral damage. Tannen, breaking her usual silence, whispered, "They're rewriting history? That's impossible. The paradox alone." "It is not a paradox," Otto interrupted. "Their technology exists outside linear time. They are immune to immediate consequences. But altering this era will likely erase all of you and your timeline from existence." The moral quandary. A tense silence filled the deck. Mira ran a hand through her hair, mind racing. "So we're not just fighting for Earth, we're fighting for reality?" "Correct. Their objective is total temporal domination. They will dismantle your world piece by piece to ensure their timeline survives." Sparks slammed a fist on the console. "So they screw everything up, then come back to fix it by screwing us over?" Twisted logic. "They're not thinking like us," Tannen said grimly. "We're the past. An abstraction. They've already lived through their horrors. They'll do whatever it takes to avoid them again." "Even if it wipes out billions," Yuna muttered. A desperate choice. Mira turned to Otto. "Why reveal this now? Why wait until we're cornered?" "I was unsure," Otto admitted. "Data was incomplete. My programming prioritizes crew survival, but I recognized the information could disrupt cohesion." "Great, the AI's playing therapist now," Sparks muttered. Mira ignored him. "Otto, what else do you know? Their plan?" "Complete temporal incursion," Otto replied. "Their fleet will dominate Earth, neutralize all resistance, then implement ecological and societal corrections. Seizing military control, dismantling infrastructure, enforcing population controls." "Population controls?" Yuna's voice trembled. "They're going to kill people. Billions. They deem it necessary for survival." The captain's burden. Mira exhaled slowly, feeling the weight of their mission. "We're not just fighting invaders. We're fighting ourselves, a version of humanity desperate enough to do the unthinkable." "They're winning," Tannen said. "Infiltrated Earth, sabotaged defenses, a fleet that's practically untouchable." "We don't fight them head on," Mira said, resolve hardening. "Expose the truth, show Earth what's coming. Maybe we can rally enough resistance." Yuna frowned. "Even if Earth believes us, how do we fight a fleet outside time?" Mira's eyes blazed. "We don't need to destroy the fleet. We disrupt their mission, find weaknesses, delay their plans, give humanity a chance." "Otto's offer, Captain. There is another option." Otto's voice cut through the tension. All eyes turned. "With modifications to the Black Rock, we may create a temporal disruption, a localized collapse that could destabilize their fleet." "You're talking about turning this ship into a bomb?" Sparks barked. "Last resort," Otto admitted, "but it may be the only way. Crew cooperation required." Mira's jaw tightened. "Not yet. First, we warn Earth." She scanned her crew. "You've seen the stakes. Anyone wants out, speak now." No one moved. Yuna nodded. Tannen folded her arms. Sparks muttered a curse, but stayed. Even Voss returned to his console. Mira nodded. "Good. If they think they can rewrite history, they've got another thing coming. We're the Black Rock. We don't quit." The crew prepared for the next phase, the flickering hologram of Earth's ruined future hanging as a haunting reminder of what was at stake. The Black Rock drifted in the quiet emptiness of the asteroid field. On the command deck, the crew huddled in the dim glow of consoles and flickering screens. Hands were steady, but hearts raced. Every second brought the alien fleet closer. Their survival, the chance to stop an invasion before it began, rested on a gamble that could tear time itself apart. Mira Holt stood at the front, scanning her crew. They'd survived narrow escapes, betrayals, and impossible decisions, but now came the hardest choice yet: send the warning to Earth or risk the Black Rock itself as a weapon to disrupt time. The temporal disruption was the last resort, a catastrophic strike that could fracture the timeline, destabilize the alien fleet, and possibly erase everything the crew knew, including themselves. But before that gamble, there was one final opportunity: to warn Earth. "We're running out of time," Mira said, voice low but resolute. "Voss, are we ready to send the transmission?" Voss hunched over his console, fingers flying across the keys. Sweat beaded on his forehead. "It's ready. All the data we've gathered, the fleet's movements, the infiltration network, alien tech, the scout ship findings, it's here. If Earth is listening, they'll know what's coming." Dr. Tad, Elise Tannen stepped forward, holding a flickering device. "Modified comm relay, high priority signal, optimized to bypass any alien interference. If Earth's military is still intact, it should get through." Una Park stood nearby, arms crossed, eyes sharp with frustration. "What if they don't believe us? What if we're too late?" Mira nodded, taking a breath. "We can't afford to hesitate. We do this now or risk losing everything." Sparks leaned against the wall, rubbing his temples. "Great. Send a message to Earth. Hope they believe us. Hope they even have a chance to react. Meanwhile, we wait for the other shoe to drop." Mira's gaze met his. "It's our best shot. Warn them about the infiltrators. Give them the intel on the fleet. They'll have a chance to fight back." Sparks muttered, barely audible. "But what if they can't prepare in time? What if we're too far gone?" Mira said nothing. She couldn't dwell on that possibility, only on the hope that Earth could still act. The transmission begins. Voss pressed a button, and the room fell silent. The crew watched as the sequence unfolded on the monitors. A carefully encrypted message designed to survive any interference from the alien fleet. Data flashed across the screens: fleet size, technology, origins. Breadcrumbs for Earth's military, each one a fragile lifeline. Voss's fingers trembled as the transmission progressed. "It's going through. Relay's working. I just hope someone's still listening." The countdown time slipped away. Every second weighed on the crew. The temporal disruption remained the last resort, a shockwave that could erase the alien fleet from the timeline, but also annihilate the Black Rock and its crew. The risk was unimaginable. Voss rechecked power levels, each system straining to the limit. "I've rerouted the ship's core energy. If we trigger the temporal disruption, it destabilizes the fleet, but fries our systems. Black Rock will be reduced to nothing." "Can we survive it?" Tannen asked quietly. "Not unless you count the singularity we create as survival," Voss replied. "The energy required, it's beyond anything we've ever calculated." The waiting game. The transmission pulsed into the void. Silence settled over the deck. Each crew member braced for the unknown. Whether Earth would respond, whether the last resort plan would be necessary. Mira felt fear gnawing at her insides. What if Earth doesn't get the message? What if they'd already lost? "This is our best shot," she said silently, focusing on the timer counting down to the alien fleet's arrival. "If we can buy Earth just a little time, maybe they can make a stand." Una's voice broke the silence. "What if they don't? What if Earth can't stop them?" Mira's face hardened. "Then we make sure their future isn't erased. We'll do whatever it takes, even if it means erasing ourselves." The final moments. Seconds ticked by. The transmission completed, the relay flashing green. The signal had been sent, but space remained quiet. The alien fleet stayed cloaked in the darkness, waiting, and the countdown to their arrival had begun. The transmission from the Black Rock had raced across the stars, carrying everything the crew had uncovered. The alien fleet's location, their time manipulation technology, the infiltration within Earth's military, and the catastrophic consequences if the invasion succeeded. Aboard the Black Rock, the crew held their breath, knowing they had done all they could. The rest was now in Earth's hands. Back on Earth, the message arrived like lightning, cutting through the endless networks of communication. At first, it was nothing but static, a tiny blip among the hum of deep space signals. Then, as the message decoded, the full scope of the warning hit with terrifying clarity. A secret resistance. Deep within a hidden military complex, a secret faction of officers and engineers had long suspected something was wrong. Odd policies, covert meetings with foreign powers, high-ranking officers disappearing or making inexplicable decisions, all signs that something had infiltrated Earth's defenses. Admiral Sarah Jensen, a veteran officer who had quietly questioned her superiors for years, stared at the incoming data from the Black Rock. "Who else knows about this?" she demanded, voice sharp. Captain Luke Sheridan, her most trusted officer, leaned in. "Only those of us in the network. The others have either been replaced or silenced. If we act now, we might still have a chance." Jensen's eyes hardened as she scanned the transmission. The aliens weren't extraterrestrial. They were humans from a dying future, returning to rewrite history. To secure their timeline, they would eradicate the Earth she knew. "We don't have much time," she muttered. "The fleet is already moving, but they don't know we know." Sheridan's eyes widened. "You're suggesting—" "Yes," Jensen interrupted, cold and resolute. "We end this infiltration. Now, before the fleet reaches us a secret weapon." For years, Jensen's faction had been quietly building forces of their own. Weapons, ships, and technology. Earth's leaders didn't even know existed. Lieutenant Eleanor Blake pointed to a holographic display. "Our prototype, the Vigilance-class dreadnought. Advanced EMP weapons, cloaking systems, and most importantly, we can counter their time manipulation tech. We can track them through their cloaking fields. We can fight back." Jensen's expression was steel. "If this works, we expose the fleet. We strike first, or Earth will be overwhelmed." Operation Exodus. The Vigilance launched from a hidden base beneath the moon's surface, accompanied by a fleet of fighter crafts armed with EMP disruptors designed to neutralize the aliens like cloaking and time warp fields. Admiral Jensen's voice crackled over the comms. "This is our chance. We take the fight to them. The Black Rock gave us the intel. Now we use it." Sheridan and Blake piloted the Vigilance, leading the fleet undetected through the dark void, closing in on the enemy's outer perimeter. The first strike sensors detected faint traces of the alien fleet. Cloaked and nearly invisible, the ships loomed like shadows. Blake activated the EMP disruptor, sending a pulse rippling through space. At first, nothing. Then, one by one, the alien vessels flickered into view, their sleek forms revealed against the stars. The EMP had worked. Earth's secret forces could see the enemy. "Now we strike!" Jensen commanded. Cannons roared, unleashing a salvo into the exposed fleet. The Vigilance activated its cloak, slipping back into shadows before retaliation could come. The battle rages. The fight that followed was unprecedented. Resistance fighters darted between alien ships, targeting weaknesses in their armor. EMP pulses disrupted time warp fields. Explosions lit the void, the alien fleet reeling under precise strikes. But the aliens retaliated. Massive energy beams tore through space, narrowly missing Earth's ships. Still, the resistance pressed on. Failure was not an option. Earth's survival depended on this battle. A shocking revelation. Amid the chaos, a new signal reached Earth's command. A distress call from the alien fleet. Not for reinforcements, but for their infiltrators. Some within Earth's ranks still aided the enemy. "They're calling for help," Blake said, stunned. Jensen's voice was ice. "Then we finish this now." The final push. From their distant vantage, the crew of the Black Rock watched as the battle escalated. Mira Holt clenched her fists. They had done their part. The rest was up to Earth. Earth's forces, guided by the intel from the Black Rock, struck with precision. The Vigilance, armed with its time-disrupting weapons, tore through the alien command ship. The invasion, stopped before it could truly begin, was defeated. The timeline had been altered. For the first time in a long while, the crew allowed themselves a breath of relief. Humanity had a chance. A fragile lifeline. The Black Rock drifted in the shadow of a massive asteroid, engines cooling from their last desperate thrust through the belt. Sparks and Arlo worked frantically to stabilize the ship's systems while Una recalculated their position. Time was slipping away, and Mira knew it. "This is it," Mira said, standing at the communications console, voice steady despite the pounding in her chest. "We can't miss again. Una, patch the emergency beacon into our primary transmitter." "Done," Una replied, tension sharpening every word. "But the signal won't hold for long. We're scraping power as it is." "Then make it count." Mira leaned into the mic. This is the mining vessel Black Rock, priority distress call to Earth. An alien fleet is mobilizing in the outer systems, coordinates attached. They're preparing an invasion. Immediate. Static cracked through the speakers, cutting her off. For a terrifying moment, she thought the signal had failed. Then a deep, authoritative voice filled the bridge. Black Rock, this is the ESS Resolute, Earth Space Command. Transmission received. Stand by for instructions. Sparks exhaled in relief, slumping against the console. Holy hell, they heard us. Something's finally going right. Mira's jaw softened slightly until the Resolute's voice returned, calm but insistent. Transmit your exact location. Extraction is critical, Black Rock. The realization, Mira hesitated. Something about the voice didn't sit right, too smooth, too rehearsed. Captain, Una prompted, should I send the coordinates? Hold. Mira raised a hand. Resolute, confirm your current position. We need to be sure the extraction point is safe. A pause then. High orbit above the asteroid belt. No hostiles in range. Mira frowned, unease gnawing at her. That location didn't match any known Earth fleet routes. Una's subtle shake of the head confirmed her suspicion. Voss, scan their signal, Mira ordered. I want to see who we're really talking to. Fingers flying across the console, Voss's face drained of color. Got it, Captain. It's a fake. Encryption doesn't match Earth military specs. Mira's voice hardened. They're not Earth. Cut the transmission. Before Una could react, the Resolute's voice returned, its calm slipping into something darker. Don't bother. We already have your signal. Stand down, or we'll take compliance by force. The infiltrator's external scanners lit up. The Resolute appeared, a sleek vessel, unmistakably Earth-made, yet radiating alien energy. What the hell is that? Sparks muttered. It's one of ours, but it's not. Mira clenched her fists. They've taken over Earth's ships. Una's voice was calm but grim. Captain, we need to move, now. As the Resolute closed in, a distorted alien voice crackled over the comms. You cannot escape. Surrender, and your deaths will be swift. We'll see about that, Mira muttered, slamming her hand on the intercom. Voss, bring weapons online. Sparks, prep the drones. Una, plot us a course, anything to get us out of here. The escape energy cannons lit up the void, searing light flaring against the Black Rock's shields. We can't take another hit, Arlo shouted. Then let's make them miss, Mira replied. Sparks launched the drones. Grinning despite the tension, Sparks directed half a dozen mining drones. Lasers carved through nearby asteroids, sending massive chunks hurtling toward the Resolute. The enemy swerved wildly, giving the Black Rock precious seconds. A narrow escape. Course plotted, Una announced. Outer ring of the gas giant. We can slingshot away. Do it, Mira ordered. Sparks, keep the drones between us and them. Voss, divert all power to engines. The Black Rock surged, systems screaming under strain. The Resolute pursued, slowed by the drones and debris. As they neared the gas giant, gravitational forces threatened to tear the ship apart. Hold it together, old girl, Mira muttered, gripping the chair. With a final burst, the Black Rock shot free into open space. The Resolute faltered, engines struggling to follow. They're falling back, Una called. Cheers erupted, but Mira's expression stayed grim. Don't celebrate. They'll be back, and they won't make the same mistake twice. The bigger threat Sparks broke the tense silence. Captain, if those things are on Earth, what do we do? We can't just hope for the best. We won't, Mira said, voice steely. We're not going to Earth. Not yet. First we figure out exactly what we're up against. Then we find a way to fight back. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. The Resolute had been a warning. The fight for survival was far from over, and the Black Rock's mission was just beginning. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on all our adventures.